Friends with differences.
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 Friends with Differences podcast, episode 13. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Very much appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, Jaylen. Thank you, Theo.
You're welcome.
Check out the Two Tone podcast. They took a break from their busy schedules to come by. So this episode, we went all over the place. Some of the topics we landed on: cultural appropriation, redlining,
Mission trips,
AI,
video games for a bit,
movies.
all sorts of shit. Yeah.
All right, any final remarks for the camera?
Linktreee.com/J.A.K Productions. I make music, clothes.
It'll be in the description. Check them out.
Hell yeah.
Glasshouse Films 8 on YouTube. Check it out. Got one film up. About to drop another one sometime soon. Hopefully.
Sweet.
There we go.
Check it out. Links in the description. Thank you guys for coming on. It's been the Two Tone podcast. It's been the Friends with Differences. And peace.
Friends with differences.
Friends with differences. Friends with differences.
To the Friends with Differences podcast.
I'm so far away.
Hot start.
Very hot start.
Oh, bullet returns. Speaking of returning, our special guests, Jaylen and Theo. Returning is Jaylen. Well, welcome from the Two Tone podcast.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you for taking a break from your busy schedules
No problem.
to guest star on a podcast. Really do appreciate it, for sure.
It's no problem.
Man.
Not like we asked today or anything.
No, it's not like
we
it was
would
last
never. We would never.
minute. Last minute? Please. I could never.
We're very planned out.
I feel that so much though. Especially like doing it weekly like we do. Like I'll come up to Theo the day before and be like, all right, I need a movie and 4 copies.
Yes.
He's like, all right, well.
That's better than us.
Oh, for sure. They're way more. Like, you guys have topics. This is it. We press start. I did everything. I'm prepared.
I go, do you have any topics to talk about? It'll be like, nope. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Well,
Let's do it.
Let's see. I
Press the
did
start button.
jot a couple things down.
Oh,
but
did
we don't
you?
gotta start with them. These are like, they're supposed to be backups. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
okay.
They're backups. I don't want to have to go to my list.
All right.
I like the organicness. What's on your mind, Theo?
Takes a drink first.
Nothing really. I mean,
Oh, what a commanding presence. I mean,
Thank God.
that was so captivating. Oh my God. That was a lot. That's alright. You visited not too long ago. You were
Yeah.
there. We were talking over business strats and I got distracted. My apologies for that.
you're good.
My video game relapsed.
Oh.
Again.
What video
Again.
game?
What am I saying? What's
Fucking all of them.
Which
Once
one?
you relapse, you go full.
I know, but what's the one that got you to relapse?
Oh, definitely Apex. Apex is the one I get push for.
I play Apex like once or twice a week maybe, but I just can't play for too long. I play for like an hour and then I'm like, all right, my blood pressure is way too high right now.
Yeah.
Need to turn this off.
I never got on the Apex train, and now I think I'm too late.
Oh yeah,
Where, where it's like, even if I go now, I'll just be getting fucking murdered, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm good.
There definitely is
yeah.
that skill gap between people that just starting.
Yeah.
I've been playing since it came out, and I'm still trash at it. So
Yeah, it's a very discouraging game because like 90% of the time you lose.
That's,
Oh,
At
yeah.
least it's
that's also how I felt about Rocket League. Cause
See, these are my two favorite games.
I've gotten into Rocket League recently, but I've been playing the shit out of
I
Rocket
never
League.
got into it at the beginning, so then once I like started looking into it, it was like a year in. I was like, oh, I'm already way behind. I played like 2 games.
A year in? I mean,
Yeah.
people still start art. You
I know, but I played 2 games and got absolutely rocked. I was like, yeah, that's
enough for me.
That's enough for me. I'm gonna be getting pissed off. I get pissed off
Yeah.
enough at FIFA.
I've been playing Rocket League for far too long. I got it when it was free,
The same.
and then right after it turned to Rocket League from Super Battle Car. Oh, what was the original name?
I don't even know. I just started playing it like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Alexa, what was the original name for Rocket League?
From GameSync.us. Psyonix originally released Rocket League in 2008 under the name Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars.
That's a long-ass name.
Well, that's why
Supersonic
acrobatic rocket-powered cars.
Battle Cars.
Battle cars.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was pretty good.
That was good. That was really good. That was way better than I was gonna do. I was gonna do the same thing I did the first time. Super rocket acrobatic. Yeah, that game I've donated too much time to. All games. Like I remember being in high school and be like, man, games are a distraction, and here I am, way out of high school.
Still playing
games still a distraction.
But also, video games have gotten so good in our lifetimes.
Yeah,
It's very
for
true.
sure.
That is crazy, unprecedented.
It is wild
games.
as fuck, the graphics. Like, have you seen the trailer for, I forget what the game's called, but it's like
Unrecord.
Yeah, it's called Unrecord, and it's like
Crazy.
They used like a new engine to make the graphics, and it literally looks like body cam footage of this dude walking through this building that's clearing it. It's like a police simulator squad thing or something, but like the graphics are ridiculous in that game.
There was a camera shot I saw, and it was like, 10 years ago it used to be like, wow, this video game looks so realistic, and then it was a shot in an MLB game, and they're like, wow, it looks like a video game. It's like basically showing how they've compared cameras now to video games.
Oh, especially with like the sports games and shit.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
How you get a bottle opener?
A bottle opener. That grabs pliers.
I mean,
that twisted off.
Oh, well, who does that?
Where's the fun in that?
I could never.
Bro, that's crazy. You made it in the trash can. It bounced off the table.
Dude, I do that way too much.
Nobody would ever know it, but that shit was sick as fuck.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Cheers.
But also, like, even like the storyline games, they've low key become like TV shows. Like they're 20-hour storylines, and they're so captivating. You want to finish in like 2 days.
Bro, The Last of Us.
Yeah, like
Crazy.
Last of Us is one.
So good.
See, I never do campaign. I'm always multiplayer. I'm just a competitive guy.
Yeah.
That's Red Dead Redemption.
The last campaign game I played was Spider-Man.
That's another one. Yeah.
It was a really good game.
Nice. The one based in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I swung my apartment.
People love the GTA campaign. People always play
Oh, GTA is just one of those games. You know, you had a rough day at work, you just
Yeah.
get you a Camaro and just drive, you know.
Yeah, for
Listen
sure.
to some music and vibe.
But that's probably the scary part about it being extremely realistic. It's like, man, what if that bad day what if you're still living that bad day, you know? Some people, I can totally see the argument of like these hyper realistic games a little terrifying for sure. Like body camera looking footage.
I'm gonna say that Unrecord game, it looks like somebody's legit body cam footage. Like the only way you would know it was a game is because like there's prompts that said like press X to vault over whatever.
On the other side of that, BattleBit is like the new extremely popular multiplayer game online. There's like 60,000 concurrent players regularly. It came out like over a month ago. And it's like the most plain graphics. It's like Minecraft graphics.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
But the UI and the UX, the experience of it all, like it's such a good layout. It's such a good
it's probably
creative.
I would assume it's from like a smaller company.
3 people made it.
Yeah, right. So it's very small.
It's extremely popular.
What's like the premise of the game?
It's like COD except Minecraft.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like COD, but people look like Minecraft characters. But you can like build little walls and whatnot too. So that's
Kinda
cool.
like
It's like
Fortnite.
it goes deep. There's all sorts of guns and different game modes.
Is it like on the consoles or is it like stream
I think
or
so.
Steam only?
I'm not sure actually. I haven't actually played it. But I've seen it.
It's
My
still
friends
interesting.
tried to get me to buy it.
That does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks like it's like super smooth, even though it looks like Minecraft.
Right.
Less than Minecraft. People make Minecraft look great, to be honest. You can put some high-end rendering engines on Minecraft.
I say Minecraft is one of those games you can just sit there and play for.
It's another
hours
one. It's another
and
one where
hours.
you come back from a shit day. I feel like people go and just
Definitely.
Dig a hole.
just start.
Yeah, just mine.
Yeah, just mine. Build something. Call it a day.
But yeah, last time I really tried to play Minecraft, I was making a parkour map, parkour castle, little
Oh, yeah.
obstacle course. It was pretty cool. It was a server with all the like a ton of guys and some girls from Architecture Studio at
Oh,
UC.
yeah.
So like people were making some
Right,
cool
some-
stuff. I will say.
Some next level shit.
Jaylen, what year did you switch to like the same grade school?
To
Was it
OLG?
Yeah,
7th grade.
7th grade.
Seventh
Okay.
grade was my first year.
Because there was a Minecraft server in 5th grade at OLG that Kyle had set up.
Oh yeah, Kyle was all about Minecraft.
And it went to shit because Kyle had a bunch of rules because he was very
Right.
much like stickler and trying to get it like
right.
fair enough.
Try to have a
Fair
cohesive
enough.
community in the
The
Minecraft
issue
world.
was there was people like me in this, and Davis, decided one day that he was gonna go into creative mode and then just blow it all up with TNT to the
Wow.
bare bones, and then saved
That's
it.
amazing.
And
The
saved it.
audacity.
Yeah, really. Like everybody's time, he was just like, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. It's
Yep.
gone now.
Yeah, that was the
R.I.P.
end of
That's
yeah.
a digital kick in the balls.
That
for
was
sure.
a horrible. That was the end of the digital laws.
Place anarchy after.
It was just chaos.
Can
It was-
anybody go in creative mode?
Yeah.
There's just like
So
a
you
written rule on the
so-
wall, like don't do that.
So once you get into the save, it was like saved on. It was like through Xbox, but it was like once you were in the save, it was saved into your worlds, and then
Right, yep.
you could switch to creative mode when you entered the world, and then could just blow shit up.
No, I mined all 94 of these diamonds.
No, one of the people in it had a diamond block house. And, like spent their whole time just mining.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He got them from creative mode.
No.
No,
This
you're
was-
wrong.
I joined 6 months in. They were
Yeah.
there for a while.
Alright.
Plus we were
Must have been a
we were
small-ass house,
we
man.
were in 5th grade.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Yeah, I really didn't. I mean, I played some games, but in high school, Rocket League was the first game. Well, I guess Black Ops 2 was before Rocket League. I had a Black Ops 2 phase.
I didn't really play many video games in high school. Probably like
Freshman, sophomore year, I was about it.
probably like Call of Duty and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, first game I got into was Modern Warfare 2. Like big time into it.
Oh yeah, Modern Warfare 2 is so good.
And then
See,
Halo.
I was
and then,
after that.
And then
Oh.
and then Halo Reach.
I never
Oh,
was
Reach
one
was
for
good.
Halo. Like I didn't like Halo.
Yeah.
There was a small period of time where me and both my brothers had an Xbox 360, and we all had Black Ops 2. That was like the only game we had like 3 copies of. So we'd all
Oh,
play
yeah.
that. That was fire. Man, some good times. Like playing games with brothers. Like I remember one time in the summer, like early summer morning, we're gaming, shirts off, we're playing GoldenEye 007 on the Nintendo 64. It's a great morning, right?
Oh yeah.
And me and my brothers are getting into it. And Ryan, my older brother, he killed me. We were playing multiplayer. I died a lot. I don't know why it made me so mad, but I like raged that he got that kill. And I 5-starred the shit out of his back. Oh my god. It was the worst 5-star I've ever given anybody. And I'm sorry. Sorry, Ryan. I'm sure I apologized immediately after. But man, that had to hurt. Whew. That was the end of that round. Yeah. Games nowadays, crazy. It's only going to get crazier too with VR, AR, All
Oh,
that
yeah.
jazz. AI is about to do crazy stuff to the industry.
It's eventually just gonna go to like Ready Player One type shit. Just put on a little headset.
Movie of the week.
Just into the game.
Yeah, I always think of Inception.
That or Black Mirror, when the two guys.
Also could be that, yeah. Depends what way it goes.
Right. Very true.
Yeah. There's going to be some people lost in the Spider-Verse.
Oh, for sure.
Or it could be like a Rick and Morty, where Morty lives an entire life and then like gets taken out of it by Rick and gets all pissed off because he lived a good life.
Yeah. For sure. But never gonna want to take off the headset.
Just spamming the dopamine.
Speaking of, any good TV shows, anybody? Anybody got any good?
Hell no, I ain't got no time for that.
I've been rewatching The Office recently.
Oh,
Solid,
beautiful.
solid.
Well done.
It's like the 5th time I've watched it.
I've been watching Suits on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I
Ooh,
did see that.
nice.
It's on the recommended.
It's on Netflix now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they were a little
Meghan
late
Markle.
on that. I was looking for that like last year. I was like, man, is Suits on Netflix? No, guess I'm never gonna watch it.
Witcher season 3.
I was
Oh,
so
it's
mad
on
when they
there.
took The Office off of Netflix.
Yeah, me too, man.
Peacock.
It was a sad
Me
day.
too.
Yeah, it's on
I got
Peacock.
all
So
of the
mad.
DVDs here.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
that means you shouldn't be as bad.
I
just gotta bring
I
out
had
the
them all
DVDs.
before. I was preparing. For
Gotta
a
find a
while.
DVD player. And,
Yeah. Bust out the old Xbox and play.
He's
it.
got one. And I was like, right there.
It doesn't even read DVDs.
It doesn't?
No. Can you
Oh.
believe that? I don't know what
The
part's
audacity.
supposed to read DVDs. I guess that's probably a separate part. But I haven't bought that part. I built a computer for all those people wondering at home.
Nice.
It is pretty nice computer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How much?
I was just
building?
listening to you guys' last podcast.
Hell
I've
yeah.
already listened to it, but I was giving myself a refresher.
Hell
Was
yeah.
it the podcast you were on?
No.
Okay.
Although that one was fire.
I think that was
Episode
the
10 of
one.
the Two Tone Podcast.
Yeah, check out episode 10 of the Two Tone. It'll be in the description. Write that down or you'll forget.
I was gonna call him a narcissist if he was listening to his own podcast. I was like, man, just likes to hear his own voice.
I have to listen to it. I listen to every one of them. Are you kidding? Somebody has to. It's not like it's on. This isn't live. It's not. I know, crazy. We could stream it live. One day we'll do a live podcast. That'll be easy enough. If I stream today. Check out the Gingerhouse. Did you watch episode 10 of the Two Tone Podcast?
I did not.
Man, you missed out on a banger. It was a roller coaster.
Yeah, it was quite the hectic podcast.
I hear enough of your voice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The power went out. It was an
It was
your
emotional storm.
birthday?
It was my birthday. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was quite the time.
Flickering. If that happened here, we would not still be recording. It
We'd be
will
done.
die instantly.
Yeah, we'll call it there too. That'll be the day. We'll be like, yeah, it's that's the episode.
If it actually saves it might not even save it.
Oh,
if
that's a
the
good
power goes
point.
out. So if this never airs, I'm speaking to nobody. Wow.
I've done that a couple times. Like, I had my hotkeys set up to where 1 was to start recording and 0 was to stop recording.
Oof.
But also one of my other hotkeys was Control-0.
Oh,
And so I just didn't press Control and press
Yeah.
0 and stopped recording. And we were just talking for like 35 minutes
Yeah, that makes you sweat.
just to each other, you know.
Yeah. You want to have that same conversation again?
Yeah, it was frustrating to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. That I have nightmares of that exact scenario.
You
I don't have
just
my
look over and
hotkey
you're like,
on.
oh, it's not even recording. That's awesome.
I was gonna say though, it was sick to see that you guys started a podcast
Oh yeah.
because we had talked about it when you were on here.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about it, but I was just like, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I need. And then I just eventually asked Evan, and he was like, oh yeah, just these
Couple
cameras.
cameras.
Here's the program I use. You know.
When you break it down, it's not that complicated.
Yeah, it's really not.
Camera, microphone,
Yep.
something that reads all that and puts it together. Bada boom, bada bang, you got yourself a podcast.
There you go.
Look at us
Fairly
go.
simple.
Did you guys listen to the last episode of the FWD? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but the only conversation, or one of the only topics I wrote down references last podcast.
I think I did. Who was on last week?
Let's see. Last week was my brother Aaron,
Yeah.
Tommy
Oh, and
and
Cinto.
Cinto.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, so this man Liam wants to tax me money and give it to y'all. I'm talking about reparations up in here. So
It's long overdue.
yeah, it's wild. Man.
That's what I was arguing.
Alright, so Liam, I gotta ask, how much are you willing to pay?
Okay, first off, it would be coming from the government, so it's more like just a tax increase. Whatever the
Alright,
tax
so how
increase-
much tax increase are you willing to take on?
However much we owe. I don't care.
How do you quantify that? We can't
Right.
quantify
Well,
how much we took from people. Are you
how-
kidding?
It's
And I don't-
however much money
I'm not
per.
trying to say we as in I'm included in this. But
It's however much money per person that had family members that were slaves. It's really that simple.
no, how much money is what?
Like, depends on the number. I don't know what
How
the
much,
number was.
How much value you put on a life?
Well,
You got to put down a dollar sign to a life at that point, right? Which gets dicey.
A little bit.
I mean,
If I was
honestly,
taking,
however much they were paying the slave owners that lost their property at the end is how much we should be paying people, because they got paid a shit ton.
how much they paid slave owners when they had to,
Let their slaves go.
right? Which would probably be like a couple of nickels nowadays. No, I'm just kidding. But
Uh,
like,
it would probably, I would assume it's probably a few $100 million in today's dollars.
well, okay, yeah. If we factor
I
in
feel like
inflation,
I feel
Yeah,
like it's too
inflation.
far gone, with like
we're talking
with-
about inflation of the slave.
No,
market.
I
It's
mean-
amazing.
biracial people being so prevalent, like if I had kids with a white woman, like would my kids get reparations or no? Because like I'm already biracial, so they'd only be like
The
a
kids
quarter.
would. Your wife wouldn't if she was
Right.
white.
Dude, I don't know. That's why this is too dicey for me to be like, yeah, we should start a program that does that, because I think it gets so complicated.
And like who's gonna run all that,
I mean, in general, right? They should have solved this 150 years ago.
Right.
So the issue is they never did. So now reparations are beyond owed.
Yo, there's accruing interest.
Yes.
We had like 180%
So-
interest right now.
Like, how much would a...
So for each slave, the slave owners were paid $300 then, which is $9,000 now for each slave.
So 9,000 times however many slaves there was.
Yeah.
But
All
then
right,
is
we'll
it
look
gonna
up that number. Let's get the number.
is it gonna
Why not?
is it gonna decrease with biracial children?
I don't know.
If you,
Like,
I mean,
by
you get
percentage?
50%.
You only get whatever percent you are black.
I mean, you would still
That
have
might
as
be
much-
how it comes down to, though. If we're actually getting granular
No,
with it.
no, that is not. Everybody who is biracial still has descendants that are slaves. They would get as much as everybody else. Because if not,
But
you're
then how
gonna
do
go
you-
to like 62%. So then they would be like, oh, 0.62.
Yeah, so
the
now you're
number.
saying everybody was impacted equally, though.
Everybody that has black family members that were slaves were impacted.
Not equally, though. Probably not. You
All
know?
right, 9,000 times 4 million.
Oh, frick.
There you go.
Wow. Well, that's only $36 trillion. Is that billion?
That's
That's
billion.
billion. That's not a trillion.
So 36 billion.
Shut
All
up,
right,
a
now
trillion.
divide that by 41.6 million.
41 divide by 41.
6.
0.6.
0.
0.
Until you get to million. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
One too
Equal.
many. No, you good. All right, so that's how many dollars you don't
800.
pay.
Holy shit,
Each
it
black
hasn't
person.
moved at all. It's
Eight-
still $900.
Yeah,
Well, no, the
$865.38.
9,000. It was
Right, it was
9,000.
300.
Yeah, but it was 9,000.
Okay, yeah, my bad.
9,000 in today's dollars. So,
So what is this number?
well, that would be how much would be if you paid exactly as much as the slave owners were getting per person.
Is
But, yeah.
9,000, but we calculated based on
How
the
many
population. So we
black
took
people are in?
the equation was how much they were owed, how much everybody's owed, which is 9,000 times 41,
The amount of slaves.
the amount of slaves, which is this? No.
And then divided by the amount of black people in the U.S. today, which is 41.6.
So is this how many? Yeah, I don't know what this number means.
But then are we gonna give money?
That's
to...
how many dollars you would give to each black person today, because there's significantly more black people today than there were
I got
freed.
you.
But
I know, but you don't know which black person was from an ancestor that was a slave or that just transferred to America after.
So
Alright, I'm saying like 95% of the black people in America were probably from slavery ancestry.
yeah.
Like, if you ain't still got an African accent, you're probably from slavery ancestry.
But again,
Yeah.
the argument why I said that is because we also have paid reparations to the Japanese that we put into internment camps.
Right. Yeah, we definitely fucked up with that.
So-
And again, I hate using "we" like that. I gotta stop that shit.
Yeah. We're a part of the white people of the U.S.
I am proud to be an American. You know? So it's like, man, America did fucked up.
But
So-
how I see pride in the U.S. is seeing mistakes and trying to fix them.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there's ever fixing it. I think if there's reparations
Oh,
now,
yeah.
there's going to be reparations down the road.
But then we have to
probably.
pay
Oh, I see.
reparations to to
Ooh, that's
Native
a good
Americans, the
Way more,
Mexicans,
probably,
the
too.
Indians,
I
because
mean, I would say we have to pay them as well. I'm just saying, I don't know
Probably
about
not more.
I don't know about more because we, used a certain people for free labor for 100 or about 200 years.
but I mean we also killed
So-
Native Americans.
True, but we also
And took
killed
their lands,
slaves.
You know, we did take their home.
Yeah, we did take their land and everything. So
And pillage them. You know. I mean, there's a good argument for the Native Americans getting a good chunk of change for sure.
I mean, they should get a good chunk of change for sure.
All right, so how much are you willing to, put towards that? You willing to have a cut out of each paycheck? put towards
100.
that?
What? No, I think tax wise, right? You'd
Yeah.
probably say like maybe half a trillion. I would say tax dollars.
oh my Jesus.
$500 billion.
I mean, think about how much.
Imagine if they made a whole tax just to pay back everybody.
Well, I mean,
That's what he's talking
That'd
about.
be
That's what he's talking about. It's called reparations.
A little 2% tax on each check.
Yeah,
Right in the bucket.
that's what it is, right? I mean, that seems a lot for like me never having anybody, like.
I understand both sides.
So what if you're a white person that just migrated here like 50 years ago?
I mean,
You still get taxed?
It does kind of get dicey.
It gets dicey
Yeah,
so quick.
but I mean, the U.S. gets in $5 trillion a year in tax dollars.
But then think about
Alright,
this.
I'm not saying we're putting it in the right places.
No, I'm just saying you can. I'm not saying $500 billion in 1 year. You could do $500 billion over multiple years. It would be. I mean, it would add up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you got like people from like, say if they're from England and they migrated over to America, they still had slaves back in England. So
It's true. They still owe money.
England, get your shit together. I swear to God.
I mean, they don't have them anymore, but they did.
Yeah, I don't
Before
know about
we did.
my family tree that deep.
I had
They're either on us.
so my girlfriend had a article that was on. It was BBC. It was one of the British newspapers, but it was Independent in the UK, and it was basically it was before Queen Elizabeth died, but it was saying that Queen Elizabeth should apologize for her role, like her family's role in slavery, and Brits were pissed.
Oh my.
They were coming after Maya hard.
That's
My queen?
Speaking of
That's
the Queen, you
very-
see Joe Biden say "Long live the Queen" the other day. He was like closing out this speech or something, He was like, and the licorice tastes good, and long live the Queen. And he just walks off, and I was like, oh my God, this
the last
country.
thing I saw about him was when he was looking like the Cookie Monster, nibbling on the girl. This is a bad clip.
How did we let him become the president? Like,
You saw the other option.
how did you?
How
How did
did
somebody
these
grab
are
their
two
grandpa
options?
and be like, "All right, Gramps, here's the entire country."
You've had to see that beautiful clip where he was like, I graduated from the top of my class. I had a scholarship going into it. And it's like Biden riddling off like 5 blatantly false statements about his past.
I became a doctor and
Yeah.
yeah, I was a doctor.
Yeah. I graduated number 1. I was valedictorian. Well, not if you ask the university. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry to push all the dicey issues. I just think it's fun.
So I don't care. I mean, for
That was
whatever.
my only topic. I wrote down Liam wants me to pay you guys, which is terrible. I'm sorry.
$5 every time we see each other.
Yeah, fuck. It's just the tax.
Just in-person
It's just
tax.
tax, Liam. $5, Liam.
It's an appearance fee.
Liam, it's reparations. $5.
I don't think I have.
He said 5. He's fucking pulling out.
You have that?
I have 20. You guys,
This
you guys
guy
take change. You guys,
Can you guys
Your
break
tab.
a 20?
reparations.
He's a
The
20,
next
bro.
3 times are free.
Next 3 appearances.
Does
That's
a beer
hilarious.
count? Can I pay reparations in beer?
It is a person-to-person basis, but I do accept, yes.
Alright, good. Oh man, do I dare reference my list? That was my only time. That was a good one though. It's a good one.
I stand by it.
Alright, fair enough. You guys think reparations should be a thing or no? You don't have to say.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say
even care.
no.
Yeah.
It's too much of a complicated issue. Like even if you monetarily solve it, there's no way to solve like systematic racism and just that whole issue without just waiting on all the old people to die.
I mean, I agree. You still have to. I mean, we still have to change most of that shit. So.
Right.
Yeah.
We
Systematic racism. I've tried to argue like against my uncles before, and it's hard. It's hard to like come up with examples nowadays of like real systematic.
I would say school
Racism?
systems is the easiest.
Is the easiest one to point to? Okay, yeah.
But
But then the argument comes back. Well, it's not the actual systems itself. It's more of the geographical divide that had happened from past decades of redlining and whatnot.
correct. So you could go into that. That would still be systemic. Like you would.
But systemic, I think, references that there's still rules in place that.
Systemic means it came from the beginning. Like the system is racist in general. So
I
it's
think it refers to the system now, not the system then.
I mean, it combines both. I mean,
I'm about to say, it's kind of a combination
Yeah,
of both.
it's like talking about how from the beginning there was the racism and it's still there. Like.
But I'm saying it's not still there in the law.
Okay.
Well, correct, but like
But
like when you see a hunk of meat, you get hungry. That's just like something that's like innate in the human body. So like if for like the past 200 years your grandpa and grandma was like, fuck them, put a beef in, fuck them,
That would have been a first for the podcast.
That'd have been fried, but I ain't gonna make the edit. But if they were just like some really racist people, even if you don't tend to lean that way outwardly, you might still hold some beliefs that you didn't even realize.
Yeah.
and it's like
Interesting. Yeah.
And then eventually people become Congress people, and everybody's a human at the end of the day. Everybody's got a bias, everybody's got prejudices,
And the thing for like the school systems, like you're saying redlining, it caused the issues for the tax dollars going into the school systems. I mean, that shows the systemic racism that exists there because the houses that were in the inner city were less valuable because of it was mostly black people that lived there. Therefore, less tax dollars went to the school. Therefore, less people could go to college. Therefore, it continued the cycle.
Yeah, I get how redlining played into it and how it's, embedded a problem that still persists to this day. But I don't think, I wouldn't say the school system is racist.
I'll give you a thing that happened and I mean, the fact that this is, you know, it's our grandparents' age, but I mean, that's still, you know, people still talk about it. Like my grandpa, the first house they bought was in a suburb of Dayton, and a black couple had moved across the street. The real estate agent came door to door to all the white people and said, "Do you want to sell?" And that's like still in people's lifetimes.
Yeah, crazy.
So,
Definitely crazy.
I mean, it does exist. I mean, still. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
there's
people have
there's
those
also been
experiences. And
there's been other examples of like a black woman would try to sell a house. The real estate agent would give her a price. Then she would take down all of her photos and stuff and have a white man come in and ask a different real estate agent what would the price of this house be, and it's like $30,000 more. I mean,
sleazy.
Yeah. So, like, there is still examples today. It's just, you know, people try to say it more subtly. It's not in the law.
Not as blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not. It might not be in a law. But
So that's my point. It's not in the law. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist for sure. I'm not saying that. I'm not. Yeah.
But
It's very, you know.
we try to solve the school one with the whole idea of every student should be a
I
dollar
know, we
amount.
just gotta be communist and that's solved.
We said every student should be a dollar amount in the nation that goes to public schools, and then you give that to each
Yeah, I think
public
I'm
school
more
based on the amount of
aligned with
students.
the state.
Yeah, I mean that works too. I mean, either one, but it would work better than our system now. I mean, Carmel High School, for example, is a fucking complex.
It is ridiculous as fuck how big some high schools are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, high school, what a time.
The good old
The
days.
good old days. Well, let's see. Do I have any other topics? Gen Con. Gen Con's coming to town. You guys going to Gen Con?
I'm not.
No?
I'm not.
I was thinking about buying a ticket.
I think I'm going.
Nice.
Do a little homework, you know, for the game
Hell yeah.
I'm making. So,
There you go.
exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. It's in Indianapolis, you know, the biggest tabletop gaming convention in the nation. No big deal. Indianapolis, W. W.
Is that the convention center?
It is.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it goes on to Lucas Oil as well. It's so
that's
big.
I never even thought about looking into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like this big of a thing until
Right.
recently. But no, it's a pretty big thing.
My cousin drives in from Virginia Beach every year to go to it.
Goddamn.
Yeah, it's an
Oh, yeah.
event for people.
Yeah, we'll be there. Gen Con 2024. Have a booth.
Hell
I'm trying to get a booth this year. They wanted to give me a table.
We'll bring some
Like,
Pokemon.
no, I'm a booth guy.
We'll bring
I'm a
some
booth
Pokemon
kinda
cards
guy.
to sell.
Sweet. Yeah, we can have a little Friends with Differences part.
Live from Gen Con.
Yeah. You know, the Gingerhouse will be streaming live from Gen Con.
Hell yeah.
Got anything else?
No, do you?
Not that I could think of.
Hey,
not
man,
not
I'm
much
just
has happened.
chilling and drinking.
I was saying, not much has happened in the past.
I'm
2
relaxing
weeks.
today. Yeah, today, or I'm driving to
Oh,
the lake house.
past 2 weeks, Evan and I golfed.
We did.
It went.
Nice cowboy hat.
It went. Yeah, thank you. Same hat I probably wore. It went horribly. We are not.
Don't say that. When we worked together, we were solid.
Yes, when we did a scramble, when we only had to take one of our balls.
All right, big shocker. I'm not a scratch golfer.
I'm not even saying a scratch. We're probably like 36 handicappers.
30 feels better.
I've only ever gone putt.
I don't know.
into the
I was pretty
driving
consistent with my double bogeys. So
Yeah,
over
see,
18,
when I
that
go-
would be 30.
Everybody has their own form of victories. Mine is one par. I want one par.
We did not get that.
No, we did.
Oh, we did. Oh yeah,
Together.
we did. We did together. We did together. We did together.
The
Dude, I hit
power
the putt.
of
This is the best
friendship.
part of my day. Best part of my week. I hit the putt.
range. Oh yeah.
You guys golf? At all?
I've only ever been putting into the driving range. I've never played a.
We should play like
Course.
3. We should do 3.
Par three.
Par 3 course.
I'm down
We
for
should
it.
do 9 out of par 3. Easy.
I will say, Evan and I got very intoxicated.
Yeah,
I feel like golf is just a secret way to get drunk.
It is.
Today.
It's a great way to get outside and hang.
Yeah. So we were supposed to do it Saturday, then it stormed. Then we went on Sunday. And so I started with, I got a 6-pack of Miller for the front 9. So we each, I think he had 3, I had 2, and then the lady that we played with, who was a random, she asked for 1, so I gave her 1. And
she was nice. Shout out her.
She paid me back.
Yeah.
She paid me back. She got another 6-pack, gave me 1. But then we each got a 6-pack. And then, so that was 9 beers over 18 holes. Plus, there was a shot at one of the holes.
Yeah.
That was
and the last 6 beers,
were quick.
you know, it would have been smarter to start with 6.
Yeah.
But it was like, man, we gotta kill a beer a hole for the next 6 holes. It's like, all right.
We were like real slow. We were real slow.
It's a good thing we sucked at golf that you gave us time.
Yeah, we had plenty of time. It was like basically a 5-hour round.
Yeah.
And then we probably took an hour eating our food afterwards. So
We did. For sure. We were watching some golf.
yeah, took some breaks. We were like, you know what? I definitely won't be able to make it home right now.
Yeah, chill at the course.
Need an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. Good for us.
Yep.
It was a good time.
It was a great time. Great time.
You guys got anything you want to bring up? Oh my gosh, I'm so popular.
If you like music, make music.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, gotta plug it.
Linktreee.com/J.A.K Productions. It'll take you to all my social medias and music on all platforms.
There you go.
Hell yeah. Yeah, when I saw you at the Little Flower Festival, very
Good
fire
time.
performance. Very well done.
Thank you.
The Frank Ocean cover you did was so fire. I was very impressed by that, for sure.
I love that song so much.
I'm trying to remember what song it was.
Super Rich Kids
Super Rich Kids, yeah.
from Channel Orange.
I mean, it hits.
That's a great album.
Such a good album.
Yeah, they do, if you haven't tuned into the Two-Town, they do a album of the week, quote of the week, movie of the week?
Film of the week.
Film of the week. I'm sorry.
What's your film of the week? We'll add it for this one.
Film of the week? Oh, we should. We're just ripping off the Two-Tone right now.
Well, at least this week because they're on. It's not ripping it off that they're here.
Let's see. I don't know. What movie do I want to see? I really want to see, like...
Oppenheimer.
No. I couldn't care.
That movie looks fucking awesome.
It does look pretty good.
I love Cillian Murphy too. So.
Yeah, me too. I do love him, but I don't know. It's
Barbie.
It's not thrilling for me either. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. You guys had that as one of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys were talking about method acting that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Johnny Depp did method acting for that role? Playing Hunter S. Thompson.
Johnny Depp method acts for I feel like almost every role, right?
Pretty much
A
everything.
lot. Yeah, I guess a better, more fun thing to say was, did you guys know he lived with Hunter S. Thompson for like over a month in preparation so he could like method act him?
So
I did not.
Yeah, it's
Also-
wild. There's a great
That is pretty
Conan interview of both of them.
Hell yeah.
there's also just some weird people at method act though. Gosh, what's his name? Who played the Joker in
Heath
Suicide
Ledger.
Squad?
Oh.
No.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger also method acted, but he did it well.
But he's
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Too well.
Jared Leto's a weird fella.
too well.
And Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Oh yeah.
That one was good.
That was crazy.
And he also method acts. He had to take a break after that.
Oh yeah, I might say there's
Hell yeah.
And then,
I'd be scared to play the Joker.
Bill Skarsgård for It also method acted. Like, they told him not to take the, like, It costume off around the kids because they wanted the kids to be actually scared of him. And he's like, yeah, it really fucked with my psyche. He was like, I had to take 6 months off. Like, he's like, I went to Denmark and just relaxed for 6 months because kids were screaming at me for, like, the last year and a half.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of films, Theo,
What's up?
anything in the works? Anything on the pipeline?
Um,
How's the projects progressing? Anything evolving for you?
still working on the Channel 6.
Nice.
I'm getting closer to finishing that.
What's like target? Because Because is it a short or is it like a full?
It's a short. I'm planning on trying to get it out by the middle of next year, or somewhere in between now and like the beginning or middle of next year.
So I think right now the
Sweet.
Indiana Short Films Festival is happening right now.
Ooh, cool. I didn't know that.
Uh,
It's also Burger Week.
it is Burger Week.
Hell yeah.
Great week.
Go get you a $7 burger at select locations.
Fantastic. It's a great decision. I don't even eat red meat that often, but I had 2 burgers in the past 2 days, and it's been a solid time.
Yeah. Man, definitely could not be a vegan.
Oh, no.
No,
No, I'm not saying that.
No
Just
way.
definitely couldn't.
white meat and fish is
He likes that white meat.
more like chicken. But
Yeah. I like it all. I like all the meat. All of it. Seafood seems so weird to call meat. Like, I get that it's meat, but it's like,
Is it?
yeah.
the fish
like
haven't
almost-
died for it,
it's like
so I would
almost.
assume it's.
That's what makes it
But they don't
meat.
have a
But
nervous
doesn't
system.
Isn't lettuce a living thing? It's not meat.
Technically.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of plants, right? They survive. Like the plant survives. Like you take a tomato off the vine
You still kill it when you eat it.
Yeah, but the vine survives. The tomato is the fruit off the plant.
That's a good point.
What
Alright,
about this?
so each tomato's not living. Sorry, please,
Oh, you're
please
good.
cut me off.
You're good.
I mean, there's definitely some that where it's actually like the
Alright.
plant dies.
So veganism is like no harm to animals and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But to like produce that much soybeans or whatever the fuck they're using for
Yeah.
filler products and
Gotta love
stuff, you know,
tofu.
you gotta till up all that land, you know, disturbing
Kill all them bunnies.
right, all the bunnies, all the moles, all the snakes.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of things that don't make sense with it. I mean, for example, like milking a cow has to be done where the cow will physically like explode.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's wild.
So
that's crazy.
So like, if you don't milk the cow dies. So
Imagine you just
they can't have
walk into a
milk.
barn and some froth milk. It's like holy shit.
But they can't have milk. Like, and it's like they're saying because it harms the animal. But it's like, okay, I mean,
Not really.
no.
No.
Like,
How weird is milk in general?
Like I guess
though?
if it's like a farm that, you know, the cows can only move like that much or get milked or whatever, I guess that probably would be bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know.
definitely inhumane ways to give milk.
Correct, but I think there's also probably shitty ways to get the plants. So
Yeah. I mean, who hasn't heard Piers Morgan? You know how many buddies they had to kill for your precious avocados? It's like, okay. You know how much fuel your precious avocados
And like
use flying them, importing them? It's like, Jesus.
and they also have eggs, which chickens lay naturally.
Yeah, and those are definitely going
Right.
to be like people. Not people, but chickens. They're going to be
I mean,
alive. They're not
no,
going to be people.
They're
They're not gonna be people.
I'm gonna say the eggs we eat
they're-
are unfertilized.
Yeah, they're unfertilized.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chickens just lay them every day. They're not getting fucked every day.
Oh, shit. Shit.
Until this moment, I haven't thought a chicken was just like a.
I just never thought about fertilizing the egg.
It just
I feel like I'm a
fertilizes its own
chicken.
egg.
You know, that's wild,
You learn something every day.
man. So is there like ways to tell like, oh, that one has some life in it? Are they like brown or something? A fertilized egg versus like
Honestly, couldn't
just
tell you.
another
I
egg.
could not tell you.
I don't know.
You would probably have to wait a while. And they'd probably have to be under an incubator. You can't like leave them in the fridge.
Right.
I think if you get like, some people get like duck eggs and stuff, like those are fertilized. Because I don't think
They
ducks.
taste better. No, I'm just
They
kidding.
taste better.
Well, I just don't think ducks lay. I could be wrong, but I don't think ducks lay like naturally without it being unfertilized.
Oh, see, that's an easy argument for like not being inhumane, then, right? If you have to have those animals have sex in order for them to produce the eggs that you eat, that's, I don't know. Maybe I could see that being.
Well,
like,
it could have been their baby. So no,
Oh, well,
it's
sure. I mean, that's just survival of the fittest. Too. I'm just saying, a whole farm dedicated to like impregnating ducks to have them lay eggs to eat. It's like, man,
That's a little sketch.
yeah. How do you hold
But
up all those ducks?
I would agree. That's probably not great. But like chicken eggs, I feel like are laid naturally.
Yeah, right. We should all get chickens. Forget dogs. Let's get chickens.
They get eaten by everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Like a
How does
hawk.
it feel to be included in that everything, Liam?
I mean, of course. But they also like will get snagged by like hawks and foxes
Yeah,
and raccoons.
for sure.
And but
So
like,
small
Anything
dogs.
bigger.
yeah, but small dogs don't get taken as often as
Yeah, because they're
chickens
cared
do.
for. People care for them.
Well, no, but even if you care for your chickens or have like fencing around the chickens will still get found out. Like they'll get found out, and then it's just a
Oh, I've seen Barnyard. Movie of the week. Back to the barnyard.
Jeremy Clarkson has like a farming show. He had like 60 chickens in this hen house, and they were like kind of in this like hedge area. And he came back, and it might have been a couple months later, and then they were just like, yeah, there's 0 left. They're all dead. They've all been eaten.
There's this house that like lives around the corner from me, and they have like 5 or 6 chickens just like in the middle of Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, they're very
That's probably
common.
the best place to keep them.
It's like supposedly like extremely economical to have chickens.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So let's just all get chickens.
Gotta get one rooster though.
That's how we can really make an impression. Everybody gets a chicken.
Start a little.
Everybody start a beehive. That'd
Do a
be good.
beehive, a couple chickens, a little vegetable farm.
Yeah.
You know how much money you would save?
The beehive's good.
That's how we pay back the black
It'd be
people.
really good for the environment.
Just give them a
It
chicken.
would be great for the environment, but it's not as much personal benefit immediately, which is why I think chickens
I
are
don't know.
easier
They
sell.
produce honey like crazy.
How often do you eat honey? When was the last time you had honey?
Today, had it in a cup of tea.
All right.
It's
All right, you.
All right, you tea drinker. I'm a
I mean,
coffee guy.
Oh, I'm a coffee guy too.
Yeah.
Tea is my afternoon drink.
I wish I drank tea, but I just haven't gotten into it.
I only like flavored tea.
Yep, mine's
Like flavored sweet
hot,
tea.
Yeah.
I can't do hot tea. Not my vibe.
Solid time.
I mean, I'll drink it, you know, if it's like
Mine has also got some
meaningful.
strawberry.
You know, if you sit down with somebody, they want to have some tea, it's like, oh shit, all right.
Also,
Some tea.
my girlfriend also has some strawberry honey. That's pretty good. Pretty good
Yeah,
as a
that sounds
sandwich.
great. That doesn't come from bees, does it? Maybe it does.
I mean,
it's just
the
flavored.
honey part does, yeah.
I guess it's not jam.
Yeah. Well,
Sounds
jam
good.
comes from strawberries.
They're coming for us, John.
And
I actually-
blueberries.
No.
and-
I actually
Jam, all kinds of stuff.
I actually looked this up. So jam actually comes from the fruit. Jelly comes from the juice. Not the actual fruit.
What?
Say
So,
that
so
again.
when you see like strawberry jam versus strawberry jelly,
Right.
strawberry jam comes from the actual fruit, and strawberry jelly comes from like just the fruit juice of the strawberry.
That makes sense though, because in jams, there are fruit particles.
Yeah,
Interesting.
crazy.
So jelly's just like runoff.
Well, jelly's just like you squeeze the fruit to get the juice to put into the jelly.
Just
Yeah,
thick
So
juice.
it's like smooth. It's basically like the difference between like smooth peanut butter and thick peanut butter. Thick peanut butter has peanuts.
I'm familiar. You guys fuck with cottage cheese? Hell no. You probably do. Oh, you're the worst.
I don't have it. I don't like ever put it in my fridge.
The
It's
only thing
offered.
that's worse than cottage cheese is cottage cheese with like little pieces of fruit or something.
Oh,
in it.
hell
Oh.
My
no.
grandma does that shit. Oh my god.
Sun
Putting a
chips.
Band-Aid on
Sun chips was there
disaster.
better.
There's this
I
lady
don't go out of
on
my way.
TikTok, and she mixes cottage cheese with mustard
Oh.
and like dips her like vegetables into it. It's disgusting.
That's terrible.
No,
What kind of
It
mustard?
curdled
Just regular
milk?
mustard.
Come on,
That
get
makes
that
it
out of
worse.
here.
I'm good off.
Honestly, if it was like a brown mustard, it might cover up the taste of cottage cheese more, and I would give it a pass. Yellow mustard, no.
No.
There's no cover up the taste.
Oh, there definitely
I
is.
love cheese.
Cottage cheese is
Don't
like
let it
nothing.
curdle.
Right.
Don't let milk curdle. I
What
love
about
dairy.
sour cream?
No.
I love sour cream.
Yeah,
love
most
sour
people
cream.
like sour cream. I think it's flavorless.
It definitely is not flavorless.
The worst
Right,
cheese.
it's sour because it's just sour milk.
All right, before I say this, do you like blue cheese?
Yes.
I like blue cheese.
Yes.
It's in doses, small
With wings?
doses.
With wings?
Blue cheese is gross.
Yeah, only in the context of like something buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, it depends.
I don't want it on my salad or anything, but
Actually, with strawberries, it's not bad.
with some buffalo
Sour.
mac and cheese.
It's like here's a plate of mold.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely worse cheeses. Like, there's that cheese that has maggots grow in it.
Ugh.
and you
That
can't,
shit's
it's like
disgusting.
in France, and you can't, like, France can't, it's really expensive, but it can't get taken out of France because it, like, has living organisms in it.
Yeah.
The maggots eat it, and then it's like their after product.
Oh right, so
It's
they
the cheese.
shit. Your
They shit cheese.
Basically.
And then you eat it.
Shit cheese.
It's
I'm
caviar.
I'm not kidding.
The bug turd cheese.
People eat anything. Just look at cottage cheese.
I mean,
it's either,
there's-
it's either France or Italy.
There's
One of the
people.
two.
I think it's in France or somewhere over there that eat like fermented shark meat, and it's disgusting.
I mean, in Asia they eat shark fin soup because it's supposed to be good for your health.
Fried
It's pretty
shark
common.
fin.
No, thank you.
Saute some shark fin.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Shark
opposed to trying shark, but
Uh,
not like
I've had
that.
alligator.
Well, you know, it's not good to eat sharks. They need to stay in the ocean. They're good for the environment. We keep killing them.
They keep killing us.
They really don't, though.
Yeah.
You ever see
Yo.
Soul Surfer, man?
Oh my god.
That
Are you
movie
still
tore me up.
No way. I used to make fun of that movie so much because my sister like would watch it.
She's still,
Oh my gosh.
she's still for protecting the sharks after her 2 arms have been eaten.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
She learns to surf again. I'm sorry. I couldn't. My sister watched it just one too many times.
Speaking of the ocean, what do we think about octopuses?
Oh,
Do you think that
Well-
they're aliens or not?
absolutely. I don't know. Like, if I'm being genuine, not just bullshitting, let's think. Are they actually aliens? I saw one picture of like this kind of I don't know, like tribe that is rather aquatic, gets all their, meals from the water and all that stuff. And I was like, man, this is like almost like Avatar because he was swimming with an octopus and like holding it. And the article said his octopus. I was like, holy cow.
He's got a little pet octopus.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is wild.
I don't know if they're actually aliens. Do you think they're aliens?
I mean, I don't know. Jaylen came up with the conspiracy theory that they are.
Oh,
He
I've
talked
heard the
about it on
conspiracy
our-
theory. I can totally see it though. That's the thing. So it's like, yeah, they
They
might
look
be
like
aliens.
the aliens on TV shows. For sure.
If you were an alien, would you not want to be able to blend in with literally anything?
Yeah, that's true.
Just
But not
like
all
if
they are
octopuses
crazy.
can do that.
It's true. Also true.
There's a hierarchy among the octopuses. You think
Only
they
some
haven't
of them
figured something out?
Yeah, you have to unlock shapeshifting.
It's level 35.
Yeah, you gotta master disguise. I don't know. You think they're aliens?
I don't think so. They look very similar though. I wouldn't be shocked if somebody's based like our TV or movie aliens on octopi.
Yeah.
It is odd how just like really smart they are,
They are very smart.
Get out of the trap, getting out of traps, getting out of tanks.
They don't look like a lot of other species, man.
Well, and they can just fall into or fit into very small spaces.
Right, as long as they can fit their beak through it, they can
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
morph the rest of their
They're
body.
aliens.
People think that we're the only ones that live in the universe. I don't believe that.
Crazy.
Oh, I don't agree with that either. I mean, I think there's definitely something.
Because there ain't no way. Because there's billions of galaxies, and inside those galaxies, there's billions of planets. So
I mean,
there's no way that.
I mean, living species also could literally mean the tiniest
Yeah.
speck.
Anything
Being
that
a living
grows.
organism.
Alright, off the back of that, what do you think about UFOs? Do you think we've recovered alien
That's a good
spacecraft or alien
I feel like in the
biology?
past 2 years we've heard so much about UFOs.
I
like,
think.
oh, yeah.
I also think quite a few of them are unidentified, like military.
Right. I
things.
definitely believe that's part of it, but
I mean, I do think there are.
I don't
know. I really don't know.
I mean, nobody in here has any sort of experience with military flying components.
Very true.
No.
I heard this really interesting story about this dude in Brazil. There was like some spacecraft that like crashed in this field, and he went out like after it, was trying to figure out what it was, and eventually the police came, and like the dude they found these life forms in the thing, and this dude carried it to like a hospital, and the hospital was like, "No, we don't want nothing to do with that. We don't know what that is. Take it somewhere else." And like the guy that was carrying the guy that was carrying it ended up dying of like this really weird like bacterial infection.
I don't think that we've ever recovered UFOs, but I feel like there have been UFO sightings in space or like close to the Earth because they just like come to the Earth and they're just like, oh, there's things here that are living, but they're pretty dumb, so they just fly away.
See, I think
what about Area 51?
I think
there's also a theory that the Earth is in a black hole, and therefore no intelligent life has ever seen us because we can't get out. Like nothing goes into a black hole.
Do you believe we're living in a simulation?
I could see that.
That's a possibility. I mean, you only know what you see, right? So like,
yeah, it's kind of a little paradox for me.
It's definitely a mind fucker.
Yeah, because then you almost have to, if you think that we're living in a simulation, then there is a being behind our existence, i.e. some sort of godlike figure, right? I mean, somebody had to be the mastermind of our universe.
Well, it could be a bigger figure than us. It doesn't have to be like a god.
But wouldn't it be, wouldn't he have the powers of a god in any sort of context that we know of?
Well, what if it's literally just one, like, for example, right? I can only see out of myself, right? So what if he is only controlling me?
Yeah.
Like, it's not necessarily like he's controlling every single person. Every single person is a different thing. Maybe it's just a simulation for me. Like, maybe you're just a figment of my simulation.
Have you heard of the egg theory?
I don't believe so.
Alright, so the egg theory is that everybody in the entire universe is one existence, living like in reality with itself. Like me and you are the same existence, but like at the end of my life, I'm gonna die and then get shot back in time to where I'm like some Egyptian princess, and then I live that life, learning all the lessons from that life, and then I die, and then it just keeps cycling through the entire consciousness of the human race.
So it's just like restarting every time you die.
Yeah. Like, as a kid, I definitely believed in reincarnation. As a kid. I don't know if I grew out of it, but I remember as a kid being, like, confident in reincarnation. And I was never confident in any particular religion, really. But I was like, totally makes sense. If you're a dick, you come back as a fly. If you're awesome, you come back as a stallion. That's what's up.
I would say I always love thinking about consciousness and stuff like that because like nobody ever really knows what it feels like to die, and like in the human experience, like even when you go to sleep, you dream, so you've experienced something. So like your mind has never had the experience of experiencing nothing,
But then like
that's why I think reincarnation is like even if it's not in the physical world, like your mind would reincarnate you into like some series of events that your brain could correlate.
Like, I don't want to call them flashbacks, but like when you...
Deja vu.
Yeah, like when you... Yeah, deja vu type stuff. Like when you go into a room and you're like, I've been here before, but you haven't. Mm-hmm. Could be your brain from a different timeline reminding you that you have been...
I think all of those theories and like reincarnation, all that is as possible as a god is to exist.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
but then
I have all sorts of like conspiracy theories on consciousness. Like I could go for the rest of this podcast.
Dude, that's what the point of this whole podcast is, to talk about different perspectives.
I also feel like no single person has ever lived their true potential, because like when you do drugs and stuff, you're not like in the same world as you are when you're not on drugs. So
Yeah, it's entirely new.
So therefore,
perspective of life.
you could just be like doing drugs is like trying to figure out what real life is about, but people do them and then the high gets done and then they're like, oh.
Yeah, then people chase the curiosity that sparked when they were high, you know. Can become a very dangerous thing for sure.
Definitely.
It's like almost as dangerous as all this like VR and all this crazy stuff. It's like, man, here you get trapped in a perspective that's not reality.
Great transition, Ed. Great transition.
Bro, just imagine like in the future when kids are playing or like kids have like chips in their head and they're just like in VR and then you just like you can somehow take out the chip and you just take it out and they're like, where the fuck, where am I?
Dude, chips in the head ain't gonna happen in my lifetime. No way.
Well, I mean,
I guess people are
yeah,
trying. It's not gonna be
Elon's
regular.
working on it.
I don't think it's gonna be regular in my lifetime. I'll say that.
I can see it.
Probably not in our lifetimes, but
I just can't see mothers being okay with it.
I can see
So like maybe it's like a tattoo at some point where like people become more
I
cyber-like
definitely
later
feel
in
like our
life.
grandchildren are just gonna have TikTok like in their brain. They're just gonna be just like
I think one thing
just scrolling through TikTok.
I think one thing that could happen is maybe like, you know, people's memories get implanted onto a chip after death.
or that.
Fuck that.
That's a whole nother can of worms. Like
True.
Oh Jesus!
What's it called?
It's definitely a can of worms.
cryo chamber or cryo.
Freaking
Have you guys
Oh
seen
my
Walt
god.
Disney.
There's AI right now that is using MRI brain scans to create the images people are conjuring in their mind.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not fucked up, dude. That's fucked up. That's gonna be used to torture people.
Have you seen the show?
It might be used for some people to communicate who can't communicate. So there might be some positive sides, but the downsides have to be huge. They gotta be. They
Evan,
gotta
what
be.
are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about people
That
being
personally
tortured.
makes me think
Oh.
that you'd be thinking about a lot of
imagine,
stuff.
imagine like
Dude, I've
people.
been thinking about so much stuff.
You'd be thinking about a lot of fucked up stuff.
Imagine people that like
Absolutely.
got.
You know how much AI rabbit holes I go down? Oh my god.
Imagine like how much like people that have like fucked up thoughts that can't
Oh.
control them and just
Imagine
like their
if-
minds just going
your mind
crazy.
was displayed above your head.
But
You're just
People
on
would not
trial.
want to
And
know.
it's just like I did not do it. And it's just like a flashback of you just killing somebody.
You'd be scared to think, therefore you wouldn't think, therefore we all just be like nothing. We wouldn't have identities.
Have you guys seen the show Upload?
No.
Okay,
It
so
sounds familiar.
Yeah, I have.
So it's in like a futuristic world where they've basically created like afterlives, but it's basically your brain is on like a
Coincidence?
almost like
I
an
think
SD
not.
card, and then you're implanted into this world. So then it's like this created video game version of yourself, but has all of your memories and all of your thoughts.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So basically, this guy, the main guy you follow, had created this another afterlife world, but it was going to be free for everybody because it was mostly for the wealthy that got to do this. And so he created a world that was going to be free for everybody, but you had to like work and still like live a life because basically what was happening was people live a life of luxury and it's like heaven, you know, where they don't work, they just have butlers serving them. But then he mysteriously dies with a self-driving car that he has set as like pedestrians first, and then it goes in the back of a truck.
Oh yes, I have seen
Yeah,
that because he's
yeah.
like manual override, and then the car's like turn the volume up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he just like slams into the back of this car because he couldn't override the AI driving the car.
Yeah, so people think it's like the people that are in charge of the industry because it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry, and he was about to destroy the industry from scratch.
This is a movie?
No, it's a TV show.
That's the
It's
government
on,
for you.
it's on Prime Video, which is funny because they would be one of the companies. That
Yeah, that is the thing. A lot of innovation disrupts current, networking of revenues. So people like don't want innovation to a sense. Like the people that are already winning don't want innovation. So that disrupts them.
But
That makes me think about like the homelessness problem. You know, like
Yeah, they don't
the
care
homelessness complexes or people get paid like 6-figure salaries to try and solve the homelessness issue, and then if they end up solving it, they no longer have a job.
well, yeah, you're talking about
So like there's no incentive for them to actually solve
you're
it.
talking about nonprofits in general. There, nonprofits like if they solve their own problem, where would they go to make money?
Right. Well, not all nonprofits are just like providing financial help.
No, but in general, right? So like, for example, the oh gosh, what's the one with the panda on it?
Make-A-Wish?
No. The one with the panda, it's like about
Panda
protecting
Express.
animals. It's kind of, it looks like that. But it's like all about protecting animals.
Like a wildlife foundation.
Yeah, Wildlife Foundation.
Oh.
If all wildlife is no longer endangered, they don't have a foundation anymore.
There's always going to be something in danger. Always, forever. There will be.
But if, for example, people were able to protect every single animal, their job is done. Like, they don't have anything. That foundation is there for no reason then. It's the same thing with, like, how we said with homelessness.
Yeah, but you're assuming that there's no maintenance and retaining all of that,
Or for example, there's people that argue, right, with cancer. People, like, how it's trying to solve cancer would take away a lot of money from people.
Medical industry is the most corrupt. Factual. There's a cure for cancer. I don't know that, but like I could see somebody discovering one and then him being murked.
That argument can be used for basically any issue in human life. Like, and I mean it's fair. Like, I mean, they're not.
Where did
always...
you start? What's fair?
he just blinked.
His argument for the fact that people wouldn't solve homelessness because then their job would be gone.
Yeah,
basically.
right.
Which is an argument against basically all nonprofits, right? Or any, for example.
I don't think it's an argument against every nonprofit.
But you could argue that all of them have something that they're trying to solve that will never be
so
solved.
like a nonprofit that helps disabled people have jobs, and even though some of the jobs aren't like incredibly complex or needed,
I'm not
still
saying
a service because it's doing a lot for those people.
But what if
keeping them busy?
What if there were
going about life?
What if there were no longer disabled people? Like what if the medical
Good luck with that.
Watch us all just like walk
I
out
don't
the
think
door
we have
and get
to
murked.
even consider that hypothetical, to be honest.
Talking about government issues and stuff. We all just walk outside after this and we all just get shot in the head.
Dude, I had to take somebody out.
Y'all knew
of the
too
parking lot
much.
this week.
I work for you, though, sir. I am okay.
It's like, what'd you say? You want to say it again?
Lean into the mic, sir.
I'm not getting shot attitude.
Oh, no.
Now we're all fucked.
Come on.
Oh, we really screwed the pooch now, and the camera caught it too. Man.
Fire him.
Fire. You're fired.
Oh.
You're fired.
Oh.
I'm ripping up the contract.
Oh.
We might have to move the little plastic things. Oh no.
I mean, you
That's
gotta
facing
face
the
it in,
wall.
but
Oh man, it's a good thing it's a podcast and the video's just extra.
All right, switch.
Holy cow!
There you
I'm
go.
coming.
There you go. That's fine.
Why are you switching cameras? Why did you put it on the camera? That's literally struggling. Sir, you screwed me.
We were talking about it too much not to. Oh no. That'll be good enough.
Works for
Good
me.
enough.
Alright, well, anybody got any other gripping things they're trying to bring up?
Microplastics.
Love them. Delicious.
Everything. But
yeah.
I mean, I think for the argument, like, I do think nonprofits do good work. It's just, will they solve the issue they're working on?
Yeah, I don't think there's often a particular solution that will that is obtainable.
I mean,
for
technically,
a lot of these.
I mean, the Danish solved homelessness.
I'm not saying
solved it
that's
in their
not
country.
a solvable problem. I'm saying nonprofits. You can't summarize. You can't categorize all nonprofits as having that complex of they could do such a good job to render themselves redundant. I think there are services that are provided by some nonprofits that are needed by the community and benefit the community.
I'm not disagreeing that they benefit. I'm just saying that, you know, I like there is a way for
So
somebody to
Happy
do that.
Hounds is a non-for-profit that has people on the spectrum work with dogs at a dog daycare. And so it's a non-for-profit dog daycare for people who have dogs that can't afford traditional style care or, you know, sitters for dogs. And also it helps these people on the spectrum because they're being around dogs, they have a job. And so it's like, what is that? You know, that's not going to be something that ever becomes
I feel like
too
it's
much that's
the
redundant.
difference between like a non-for-profit that's providing a service versus a non-for-profit that's like trying to obtain a goal, you know.
Yeah.
There's differences within the non-profits, you know.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Like the Red Cross is like a non-profit that you can't really like
Yeah,
get
natural
rid of,
disasters
but,
are
like,
going to happen.
But,
But, like,
they
pe-
benefit from more happening, which, you know, global warming is getting worse, so then they're actually benefiting more from.
Then it's a corrupt non-for-profit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Red Cross has been found to be corrupt.
A lot of things in the government are corrupt. Let's just put it that way.
But is it corrupt enough to... I mean, it probably does more good than it does bad, I'd argue.
I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know.
Dude, they're doing work all the time. Red Cross gets sent out all the time to communities. People volunteer all the time. And Red
But you're
Cross
talking
is
about,
that link.
Rick Ross, like...
No, Red Cross.
Oh, they said Rick Ross? I was like, what?
Nah, that's just my poor speech. Yeah, the Red Cross definitely is a great service.
But another thing
Let's say
people
they
talk,
haven't done everything
but
correctly.
another thing people talk about, right, is the, like, you know, church volunteering in other countries. A lot of people say that does more harm than good. Because they do shit work, they don't know how to build something, so then it has to be redone by actual builders. So it's like, it's mostly a PR
I think
stunt.
volunteering's good. And I know people volunteer for the wrong reasons all the time. That's not good. But the act of volunteering is good.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, for example...
You are saying that,
no,
right?
I'm
It's
not.
like in high school
I'm
when
not.
people would do
I'm
service
not.
hours and then they'd like stand around and pretty much do nothing but talk, but they'd still get the service hours. It's
But
like,
no.
well, they didn't really do anything.
I'm saying, for example, right, if your church is doing a fundraiser to build a church in Mexico or something, right, or a church in Haiti, or, you know, build a school somewhere, usually they send volunteers to help build it. But they send volunteers that have no idea how to build. So it doesn't do any good because it's a building that isn't actually able to be used.
I think it does good. Even if
think
you
the
don't
mon-
know
I-
how to use a hammer,
I think the
come to
money...
the job site, somebody will show you,
No, I think
and
the-
your effort is appreciated.
I-
Thank you out there.
I think the money does good, but it would be a lot.
No, your
Well-
physical effort helps as well.
No, it doesn't. Not if you don't know what you're doing.
Dude, if a tornado strikes your neighborhood, even though you've never
I would want
assembled
a
a house,
builder.
you'd still be, uncovering rubble from the house, right? You'd still lend a hand and
But-
try to uncover some shit, right?
To uncover shit. I'm saying to build something, I would want a builder. I would not want some random person to come build something for me.
Yeah.
Imagine
I
you just
get it.
got
I
hit
work
by
with contractors.
a hurricane.
Got
and
hit by a
then-
hurricane, and then I have
6
some
high school kids coming.
start building my house again. I would be pissed.
They're gonna be like,
I would
the
be-
house is done, and it's just like,
Yeah, I would be livid. They don't know shit
I
about
work,
roofing.
I work in the architecture industry, right? And so, we have to organize construction. You have to make it so the biggest idiots are able to construct it because that's who you're designing for. Idiots construct things all the time. All the time. And they fumble through it, for sure. But, it gets built in effort, volunteering, even if you don't know how to use a fucking hammer, somebody can show you. If you have one person on the job site that knows what they're doing, 10 idiots will eventually steer it in the right direction.
But with church volunteering, there's not usually even one person that knows what they're doing. There's not. They don't have an architect with them. They're
Good
just
for them
building
for
a
trying,
fucking
though.
building.
Good for them for trying.
So then there's
You just want to kill volunteers. You just don't
No,
want people to
I'm
volunteer.
I'm
You just
saying
don't want people to volunteer. Why don't you want people to volunteer?
I am saying that money, if you just gave it to the community to
What
let
money?
them
They don't
build-
have money. They have time and effort.
But they're giving money. Most of the time, it's like
That's
okay,
not what you were saying earlier. You were saying they don't know how to build stuff and they're putting up a bar.
Yeah, because they put money and then they use it as a PR stunt for their church by going there and actually building it with the materials that they paid for, when they could just give the money to that community and then they build it because they'll have builders in the community that can build it.
This is an absolute absurd hypothetical.
That isn't though. That like for
You think
example,
they're
for
like-
example,
they have a wooden post in the ground. They're like, have a hammer and nail and just take a picture and then leave?
No, for example, the church that I grew up at did stuff for Haiti when they could.
You hated it the whole time.
Well, no, but they could give instead of they sent like 6 volunteers on flights that were paid for probably with the money down to Haiti to. One of them was like to build a well or do something for school. Either way,
Physical action, like helping out, giving a literal hand.
But
goes
if they
further.
gave the money to the school and let the school decide what they wanted to do, it would be more useful than actually going to do anything.
I think physical help is more beneficial than financial help sometimes.
I would.
I see both sides of the argument.
Strongly disagree.
Yeah, you don't think it's ever necessary.
No, we should never have to. We should never have to go into another country
that
and
over
do
here.
their work. They know what they're doing with the money.
That's why the Red Cross exists, is because a tornado comes through, fucks up the whole town, and then it's like, okay, we need the most help we can possibly. We can't
But
afford that.
what if
Literally.
all of the money that the Red Cross got went straight to the community instead of through the Red
Right.
Cross?
And then it'd take months, years for them to hire contractors and whatnot. Wouldn't you rather have like a horde of people come and start uncovering rubble, start getting it into dumpsters?
I'm not.
and just
I'm not disagreeing with
having
the
the-
uncovering
You are.
rubble part. I'm talking about the building of anything. Whenever people build shit, they have no idea.
The help's much appreciated. I'm sure. I'm sure.
I honestly don't think it is. We always
That's
go.
because you're
But-
privileged. You're extremely spoiled.
I would argue that
So
you
am
are.
I
acting
know.
more
I
spoiled.
know. I'm more spoiled? Probably.
Yes.
Maybe. Spiritually, yes.
Jesus Christ.
Man, that's a fun argument. Who's more spoiled?
It's
Tommy.
definitely between you.
Uh,
I'll tell you that much.
Dude, I got a good argument for spoiled, for sure. For sure. You guys volunteered any time recently? Yeah.
Just
I'm
got
not,
my
I'm
service
not, I'm not
hours.
saying volunteering in your community isn't good. I'm saying volunteering in other communities isn't always useful.
It cannot be useful. I'm saying the majority of the time it's useful.
I'm saying, that's my argument, is I'm saying majority of the time it isn't. Because a lot of times we go to, it's mostly Central and South America we go to, / the Caribbean.
Who's we?
I mean, churches in general, anybody that sends
You ever
money,
been on a mission trip?
that's what I'm arguing against.
Yeah, I've been on a mission trip before.
They're stupid.
Alright, but the people we fed would disagree.
Okay, but you could send the money and people could be fed still. You don't have to be there.
Yeah, but sending them money
That's
is clicking a
hard.
button and digital currency goes off to another digital currency in the world.
See, but that's
There's difference
but-
between
but it's-
actually
but it's-
feeding somebody.
But it's also
donating
it's the
money.
white savior complex because it's fulfilling you. It has nothing to do with fulfilling them. The money could fulfill them as much as you giving them the food.
I didn't do it for my fulfillment. It's not like I was like, ooh, vacation.
No, but you saying, oh, like a lot of people come away from mission trips and like, oh, I'm spiritually fulfilled. Like I've done something good for people.
It was eye-opening to see the different conditions people live in, and I was happy to help.
Correct.
So, what are you saying?
It's very much a white savior complex. Mission trips are very much for the idea that, Oh,
I wasn't trying to be a hero.
I know, but
He's not necessarily saying like you, like
it's the
like as the individual.
It's the
but like,
idea of the white person helping.
no, it's the idea of mission trips in general. Like the whole point of them is that spreading of that whole white savior complex.
I don't think that's the whole point. I think the whole point is like there are people that need help. Why not lend a hand when you can?
Yeah, but you again.
I feel like it kind of goes back to like the point we were making with like racism earlier, like how some of it's kind of just like ingrained in like the human being. Like
Yeah.
I feel like at the beginning of mission trips, there definitely was part of that. Like, you know, like some Karen in Iowa was like, I need to fulfill my life through going to Haiti or building a house, you know, and then.
Yeah, I mean, most
eventually-
people say what you find the most meaning in life through service, whatever that service is.
That's very
Servicing
true.
others is the what gives you, what fulfills you with purpose. Is like philosophers argue that all the time, you know. So don't knock service just
I'm
because
not
it's
knocking it.
categorized. I'm not saying. I'm saying he is. Just
saying.
because
But
it's categorized as mission. work.
But mission work in general, right? The point of mission work is you were spreading a message. That's what a mission
I wasn't
stands
evangelizing. I didn't say God once.
for. Okay, but what I'm saying is the mission stands for that. It doesn't mean you stand for it. It means the mission in general stands for it. And the fact is, that church or whatever you did it through could give that money to the community, and they could use that money for what they really need versus somebody coming and trying to build. And it might not be you that says like I got fulfillment from it or spiritual fulfillment, but there is probably other people on there that came away and goes, wow, I grew so much as a person from that. It's very much white
I do think I learned from it, and I definitely learned from it. So if that makes me a part of the white savior complex, I think that's just a rather derogatory term for helping out.
No, it's the idea of, shit. Firework. They are cheaper right now.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of helping out because, as a white person, one.
Dude, I'm not. I've decided.
I've decided.
I'm no longer white. Just Irish.
Okay.
Yo, you know what I've decided that I'm not? Is cis. I determined. I refuse to be identified as cis. Oh my god. There's no term that I hate more than the term cis. I'd rather be a woman than I would be cis. Therefore, I can't be cis.
How so, Evan?
Well, I prefer
Excuse me.
he, but if you think I'm a cis man, I don't want to be called that, so call me a female instead.
If you prefer he, him, you're arguing that you are not.
It's fluid, man. If you want to say the term cis, I'm going to be a woman. That's what I'm saying. Therefore, I'm not cis.
I mean, you are, so I don't know what to tell you.
No, I'm a woman.
Cis means.
Have you done any transitions?
Not yet.
Okay.
So I
You're
just
not.
decided 5 minutes ago.
Then you're not.
But I know I'm not a cis. I hate that term. I hate it.
I understand the frustration with it.
It's
Is
just like it's like sour cream. It does nothing. It's just filler. It's filler word.
I mean, if it does nothing, then why does it bother you?
Because it's like saying the twice or something. It's just redundant. I think.
That's going back to your argument that there's only two genders, though. If you're saying that it's saying the twice, cisgender means,
No, I'm
the gender
very
assigned a
confused.
bird.
What are you saying?
Well, because you're saying that cis means the twice, basically saying like you're trying to say it means gender.
Yeah, I'm
Just
saying
means
if you call
gender
me a
assigned at birth.
cis man, you're saying I'm a man. That's what you're saying.
Well, cisgendered man. It's trying to be more inclusive of people that have transitioned into being men that aren't cis.
Yeah, it's a new vocabulary for people who aren't identifying differently, right?
Correct, but it's just to be more inclusive.
Well, I don't feel
No,
included when they say cis. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I say. You're identifying me as something I don't want to identify as.
Yeah,
so
yes.
I'd rather say I'm a woman. So, therefore, I'm not cis. Because I'd rather be a woman than a cis man.
Okay, again, have you done any treatments?
No, not yet.
Okay, so then you're
I'm behind on a lot.
He's behind. He was late for the update.
I don't think I am going to do any treatments either.
Okay, then you're not.
No, I'm a female. I'm not a cis man. I'm
That
determined.
whole thing is crazy. Like, there's guys that identify as females, but they're new transitioning and then go into female prisons and then
Crazy.
impregnate
That's
prisoners.
crazy. Yeah.
Like, it is wild how, like, how sticky of a subject it is that, like, nobody wants to address it.
Yeah, I'm over. I'll talk about it because I think I have a valid perspective. I'll say that. Yeah.
Since he's a woman.
Since I'm a woman,
He has a valid perspective.
He has a valid perspective now.
Oh my lord! Dude, I'm put.
I think it's funny how, like, for a long time, women were, like, trying to fight their way into men's sports, but then now that men are going into women's sports, they're getting mad over it.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think
it'd be
you
the
should
same if a woman went to a man's sport.
I mean, I don't think they ever really try to argue to be in a man's sport. They just argue for equal pay.
No.
No, because before, like, all this stuff happened, like, there were, like, teenage girls that were, like, telling their dads that they wanted to play football and all this stuff. And so they would, like, fight their way onto, like, high school football teams and stuff.
But there's also no women football, like, women football sport. That's more what that argument was for. Compared to, like, you know, when there's already a place for them, they go to, like, women's basketball or women's soccer.
Well, like Leah Thomas, like,
Yeah.
do you think she should be able to compete?
Shouldn't be going in the women's locker room. Shouldn't be able to compete.
I don't think
sorry.
she should be able to compete.
I don't think you should be able to transition sports. Sorry, I don't think it's fair.
I think it's a
I don't
lot
think
of.
it is either.
I think
I'm with you
it's
in that.
has to do, like, with a lot of the men that are transitioning into women feel like they could do better in women's sports because they're trash at men's sports, so they go into the women's sports.
Like Leah Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like no matter like what her feelings are on like transitioning, like before she was like 234th in the men's division and then goes in women's and smokes everybody by like 4 seconds, you know.
Yeah, and it feels very bad to say, but I don't think we can give people's feelings this much weight, like in reality. Because it is feeling and it is subjective per day. I mean, even, you know, like it's feeling. You can't base.
For Leah Thomas, though, she was taking hormone treatments. That's why she finished.
I don't care that he was taking anything. He shouldn't be able to compete with any of the girls. He shouldn't have his dick out in the women's locker room. She shouldn't have his dick out in the women's locker room. I'm sorry.
But like, even though she was transitioning, she still had 14, 15 years of like testosterone in the male physiology. No,
just because you're taking
whether you like it or not, like men and women are different. Like the men's physiology, like they grow muscles more rapidly. They grow bigger muscles. The bones are thicker. They
do you think
tend to be taller, which
differences between men and women?
Yeah.
But you still think men that are a 30-year-old dude can start taking testosterone and then, or start taking what's the other one, estrogen, and then compete with women?
No, I think personally that, you know, people think that the transitions happen a lot more because they're on the media more. It doesn't happen that often where men transition to being women just for sports.
I don't think it's a good argument that it doesn't happen often.
doesn't happen often.
I don't care. That's not a good argument at all. Don't use that as an argument.
It's a pretty solid argument.
I'm not even saying
it's
like
not. That's not.
I'm not
Good and bad isn't subjective to how many times good and bad occurs.
But also,
You know?
also on top
So
of it,
just because it
there
happens
should-
once, 9/11 happened once.
But for example, there's
Yeah.
been Olympic athletes that have been transitioned people that were in the sport that they transitioned to. That
I got a question for all y'all after he's done.
Okay, but that didn't win their race. They didn't, you know.
Well, right. Like I'm not saying that like every athlete that transition is solely doing it just to win the gold medal or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
sure there are athletes out there that like truly feel that they're in the wrong body and stuff. But like, it is not fair for somebody that grew up for 20 years or whatever. Because like before 2015, you hadn't heard of anybody taking testosterone. You hadn't heard about anybody doing like HGH or anything like that. You know.
Yeah, who was the dude that transitioned to a girl in the UFC? Fallon Fox. Fallon Fox transitioned to be a girl and fight women. She gave a woman a.
She also got her jaw broke.
Yeah, but she caused mental damage to another woman. Like,
But she.
we went over this. Her record is 6-1. His record beating up girls is 6-1. And yes, the one time he lost, his jaw was broken. But he's beat up 6 girls. That's not okay.
If we're fighting with, or if we're arguing about transitioning, racial transitioning,
Oh, definitely no.
how can
I
we
don't know, I kinda feel
say
like a black woman too.
how can we say that it's
not just a woman?
how
you
can
know?
we say that it's okay to have athletes transition like sexually into male or female, but it's not okay for somebody to transition into a black person or a black person into a white person?
Because, you know, there's always been, like, other than in Christian society, there's been more than 2 genders.
Are you okay with transitioning to other species? Like, could I be a cat?
Like, I feel like a white man. Why can't I transition into a white man?
I mean,
It's
I wish you could.
Evan feels like a black
It's
man.
an
Why
argument
can't he
of facts
transition into
versus
a
feelings. Like,
Yeah.
like you are obviously not white. You are obviously like a biracial dude. Like,
Yeah.
The issue with
Whether
that
you
argument,
whether you feel like a white woman doesn't mean that I should have to treat you like a white woman. Like, I
So-
feel like everybody's feelings, like as you were saying, they have too much weight. You know,
So like, why
everybody
should
has a voice, everybody has an opinion, but like 20 years ago, you know,
why should I be forced to call somebody a he or a guy or a girl if they transitioned into a guy or a girl? But like,
because there was
you can't
multiple
be like,
operations done.
oh well, you're a black man, so I'm not gonna call you a white guy.
I mean,
It's feelings.
I mean, a lot of times though, it isn't. It's mostly white people trying to switch to being.
No, you're
There's
talking
been
about
a couple
specific.
times.
No,
There's
no,
been a
no.
couple
You gotta
times.
be more general. You can't just bring up the white people doing it.
I mean, there have been multiple.
I know, but there's also black people doing it, right?
But they feel like they want to be black. Why can't they be black? Why can't we go, oh, you're a
Because-
black woman, I respect that.
Because they benefited from all of the benefits of being a white person and then just try to become a black person because they feel like
But when
people are being put down.
But if I feel like a white man and I go into a job and I'm like, hey, I'm a white man, they're going to be like, no, you're black. So
If that comes up in the interview, you shouldn't work there anyway. I mean, that's way out of pocket. You can't be on.
But like they're gonna be less likely to hire me because I am darker in skin tone.
Well,
But
it's fucked up.
I want to be a white guy.
I don't know if
so.
I necessarily agree with that.
You don't agree that it's less likely for a black person to be hired?
Correct. Yeah, I don't think it's less likely that a woman gets hired. I don't think it's less likely that a black person gets hired.
it definitely depends on the field. Like if you're going into
It
fast,
depends on the person.
if you're going into fast food, like obviously you know they need people to work. But like if you're in, say, like car salesman, and like I come up to you and I got dreadlocks, and you know, even though I got a suit on, I got dreadlocks. You know,
And they're well kept.
I got some jewelry in. You know, got earrings. They're gonna. I'm not saying like everybody's gonna do this, but 9 times out of 10.
I mean, how
they're
you
gonna
present
choose.
yourself, and I'm not talking about race, does factor into it. I can see how people are prejudiced towards people with dreadlocks. I can see how people think that to be, I don't know,
I mean,
unclean. I don't know. I could see people being racist off that.
I mean, for example, for Maya, right? Like, if she changes her hair at all, like sometimes she'll get braids, sometimes she has curly hair.
Yeah.
People will be biased towards her based on how her hair is.
That's crazy.
Also, it depends on like how big the business is. Like big corporations, they don't give a fuck if you're black or white. But like smaller corporations, they are more likely to choose like a white person over a darker skinned person.
And also, you know, for HR people, a lot of times there is implicit biases. So if an HR person is white and blonde, the chances of them hiring somebody white and blonde is very high. Because you want to hire somebody that looks like you.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, like, in the drug scene, you know, like, you tend to buy drugs from somebody of the same race, or you tend to, you know, like, not trying to dog on y'all, but like, you know, how many black friends do you have, you know?
Dude, I got a decent number, to be honest. I lived in Bed-Stuy.
Right, yeah, I say he was in New York, but like, how many white kids from the middle of Indiana do you know that have black friends?
See, until I moved out,
a lot of times
exactly,
they got a token black friend.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not that like you're implicitly biased against black people. You're just not in that community, you know. Like, so
totally
you're not gonna.
But that's my whole argument against like cultural appropriation. Totally BS. I think it builds up the divide between different cultures rather than.
But
actually,
I think though with that though, you know, there is a difference though.
Okay, hold on. Can I bring up something? The last time we talked about cultural appropriation was the first episode, and I was told that appropriate and appropriate are two different words, which is not true. They're the same word.
That was
you.
That was Jacob.
That was literally everybody in the room agreed besides me. It's two different. It's one word that takes on two different forms, an adjective or a verb.
Yeah.
And depending on
that would be two different. That would technically be two different words.
In a dictionary under one word and then two different ways of using that word.
Okay.
Right.
But that's still two different meanings for if it's a verb or a noun.
It's two different meanings.
Okay.
Which was what I was arguing the whole time. I was told it's two different words. Appropriate and appropriate are two different words. It's two different ideas, but it's not. But they do take on entirely different meanings. Like, to be appropriate is to be courteous and all that kind of jazz. You know, it's fitting for the environment. But appropriate often is referring to stealing or something. So, like, two vastly different meanings from the same word. I don't know. I don't like the term just because I don't think...
I understand the frustration with it, but, like, you gotta think if something is inappropriate, then it is appropriation, you know?
If it's inappropriate?
Correct.
But the problem is that...
But, like, even within cultural appropriation, like, there is a line to where, like, it's not appropriate, you know? Like, say if you came in and you had on, like, traditional African clothes, you know, that's appreciation, you know? Like, they're clothes, you know? Anybody can buy the clothes. If you went into some African market and bought these clothes, they're not going to be like, nah, you can't buy these.
Yeah.
But if you came in and you had dreadlocks and you was like, what's good, dawg, yeah, you know, that's appropriation, you know. You're trying to take something from the culture of something else and make it a part of yours, you know.
More in terms of the mannerisms.
That's a good definition.
It's like, if you came in and, you know, you had on a backwards hat, you know, I'm not gonna think anything of it. But if you came on and had a backwards hat and you try to do some like fucked up handshake with me, I'm gonna be like, what are you doing, dog?
Yeah, like I didn't. I learned last time we talked about it that people often imply it takes a form of mockery.
Yep.
To appropriate is to like mock in a sense.
It's kind of like Michael Scott from The Office, you know, like he does shit that's like just a little too far, you know.
Well,
like that episode when he goes to Jamaica and he comes back and he's got the beads in his hair.
Drum.
Yeah, that's appropriation. But like if he went to Jamaica and, you know, took a couple pictures, you know, it was like showing everybody the beaches, you know, he's
we all saw
appreciating.
Jan.
Well,
Oh yeah,
Well, like,
can't forget that.
good example from The Office, though, is that the diversity episode. Like, all of the sayings he made people say was all very much cultural appropriation.
But I feel like there's a lot of problems with appropriation because there's racial ethnicities that take, like, they feel like they're being cultural, or I don't know how you would describe that, but like they feel like they're getting stuff stolen from them that wasn't theirs in the first place. Like dreadlocks and braids, they never started out as a black people thing. They were started out as Vikings. Vikings had braids and dreadlocks before black people.
That's actually not true. The Vikings, I want to say it's very different in the style of hair because Africans have coarse hair. It's actually like the hair comes out in like a different pattern. So like you cannot physically dreadlock white straight hair. Like it's not possible. You can braid it into where it comes into clumps and stuff like that, but dreadlocking is like the process of interlocking all the strands of hair. So like,
yeah, I don't think dreads can ever, or like there's like a level of dreads that can't be stolen because you have to be of that ethnicity. Like I learned a lot living in New York because I was one of 6 people living in an apartment and we all have rooms, but I was the only white person, right? I learned a lot. One of those things being that black people, African American people, have like a grading scale of how dense their hair is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have really, really fine. I'm gonna say it's fucking shaved, so you're gonna get me, but I see nothing. But I have really, really fine hair, so mine would be like 1C, whereas Theo has a little bit like thicker hair, so his would be 2C, and then like
my girlfriend's is 4C.
really, I'm gonna say that's really, really thick, like really kinky, curly hair.
Right.
Yeah. But it is quite interesting to see like the variety, because you know, like with my hair, there's no chance in the world I could get dreads, but like Theo, if he grew his hair out for long enough, he could do it.
I also feel like there's like people see cultural appropriation differently nowadays because like there's this video of this like famous TikToker that walks around and he's like asks all these white people and black people if this is cultural appropriation.
I've seen, yeah.
And he's like dressed in
Mexican
like stereotypical like Mexican outfits, and
yeah, like
they're like
sombrero and a poncho.
Yeah, and he has like a fake mustache and everything, and they're like, yeah, you're stealing their culture. And then like he goes over to the Mexicans and he's like, am I stealing your guys' culture? And they're like, nah, you look good.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, like with the clothes and stuff, like wearing clothes that are of a certain culture and just like appreciating the culture is very different than trying to integrate yourself into the grander.
I know, but I
culture.
feel like nowadays people don't know where that line is.
It is
And
definitely
so
one
they
of those.
just think that everything.
Sure.
It's definitely one of those words that get thrown around just to be like a hot topic, you know, like
Yeah, because the word itself, the definition doesn't imply mockery, and it doesn't definitively mean stolen as well. It can also mean like taken with consent.
right.
But nobody ever refers to it in that context.
Right, I'm gonna say I feel like in the sense of cultural appropriation nowadays, like it is used as just like a hot topic, like a hot button, you know. Mm-hmm. Like if you just came into someone and being like, you're racist, you know, everybody else is gonna think they're racist, you know, even if what they were doing wasn't racist, you know. Yeah. It's just one of those things that people use to try and belittle others and better themselves, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
That's why like.
I'm sorry, I'm about to piss myself.
Like every time I'll be like talking to somebody that's white, I'll be like, you're racist, just because it's funny.
Oh yeah.
And like everybody takes it so seriously, and I'm like, I'm just joking. I don't really care if you're like do stuff that's black or like Mexican or whatever. Yeah. Like
I will say though,
as long as you don't like, if you said the N-word to me, as long as you don't say it with intent to be harmful, I don't care. Like, you could be like, what's up, my... Then I'd be like, all right.
We just get the pass. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, definitely...
I will say, people, though, if you said to somebody, like, oh, you're being racist, and they get very offended, it kind of makes you think, though. Like, it'll be like, well...
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how.
Because if they get mad,
A lot of people around, like a lot of new people that I meet, they get very offended by it, and I'm like, I'm joking. I don't care.
it makes you question what they're doing though.
Yeah.
Like living in New York and having different roommates of different ethnicities and whatnot, it was very odd, and I find it very odd, and I think it encourages racism to a point where people often say things like, you don't do this to black people, you don't do whatever to, don't call a black girl loud.
Yeah.
So one of the rules I learned is like, I don't know, I feel like this kind of, why are we still categorizing the whole group of people like you can't do this,
But,
I don't know.
A part of it, right, is you do have to recognize that there is diversity in general. Because, like, there are people that will be like, oh, I don't see color. And it's like, well, that's bullshit. Like,
Unless you're colorblind.
yeah. but
I'm
in
trying to
general,
deny that there's race,
that's...
but like, always, like, having, I don't know, specific quirks that you think are a rule for your whole race, I think is a form of racism to yourself, kind of,
I can understand the
It's like
the sentiment behind it, but like I feel like that's more like stereotyping and stuff rather than like taking a look into the culture of itself. Because like going back to earlier when we were talking about mission trips and stuff, like you personally didn't feel like it was like a savior complex kind of thing, whereas like
I did not feel like a savior.
I'm about to say, but like from the outside, most people would be like, oh, they're just going to be like, oh, look at me, I helped these people build this house, type shit. Like, even though that's not how you felt, and I'm not saying there's, like, anything wrong with it, but, like, from the outside looking in, it can be construed that kind of way,
For sure.
For sure.
But, like, me as a mixed biracial person, like, I don't care if you say the N-word around me. Like, I really don't care. But, like, Jaylen, he would beat an ass over it. Like, he doesn't fuck around.
I'm about to say, I'm cool with it as long as I know it's not, like, in a
it's probably
in a
different in
malicious kind of way.
I mean, again, it's like everybody has their different line too, right?
Yeah, like
every person has a different line. But
some people,
I mean, still, no.
some people will get like super offended by it, but like some people just don't care.
We'll never say it.
Yeah, part of me is like, yeah, it is a word. It's just a word. But then, part of me is like, yeah, there's a lot tied to that word.
It's very true.
Well, like Louis C.K., he'll just let it fly.
But like then there's also like those there's kids that that are white that grow up in like different ethnic groups, like grow up in the hood or like grow up in like a Hispanic neighborhood or whatever. So they grew up around all this stuff, so they're used to hearing people say it, so they just think that they can say it just because they grew up around it. Which is like...
Yeah, then they get their ass beat once, though, and then they're done.
Yeah. But, there's some people that go through that, and they still say it.
Probably not my place,
But
definitely not my place. But here I am. I don't know, like, yeah. In the same line of thinking that, like, saying that, like, calling a black woman's loud is in a small... Like,
but it's been used against them so much before, right? So then it's offensive to a lot of them because that was used.
But like in their lifetimes, like my roommates, it was used by who?
Like my girlfriend has been called like in her workplace loud because she was trying to get her point across. And it's this idea of a loud,
her
angry
volume
black...
level excessively high? Because that's the context I used it. I was like, just, you're being loud. And they were like, wow, you said that? I was like, I'm sorry. The volume level was very high. It's like, well, is there another, should I say that instead? Can you please lower the volume? It's like, yes, I guess that's more polite, but I don't think that word implies a racist undertone. Undertone. Yeah, I don't think so.
I get what you mean.
There's a lot of words that are like that for like every race, though.
All right, so shall we wrap up? Anybody have any final points before we do the intro?
The intro.
Oh, we do.
Oh, we do the intro at the end.
So this is the whole
Welcome.
conclusion.
I was like, we just starting again.
Oh, don't worry. All right, so Friends with Differences podcast, episode 13. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Very much appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, Jaylen. Thank you, Theo.
You're welcome.
Check out the Two Tone podcast. They took a break from their busy schedules to come by. So this episode, we went all over the place.
Yeah.
Some of the topics we landed on: cultural appropriation, redlining,
Mission trips, AI, video games for a bit.
yeah, movies.
All sorts of shit.
Yeah.
All right, any final remarks for the camera?
Linktreee.com/J.A.K Productions. I make music, clothes.
It'll be in the description. Check them out.
Hell yeah.
Glasshouse Films 8 on YouTube. Check it out. Got one film up. About to drop another one sometime soon. Hopefully.
Sweet.
There we go.
Check it out. Links in the description. Thank you guys for coming on. It's been the Two Tone podcast. It's been the Friends with Differences. And peace.
Friends with differences.